Looking at the extraordinary coal in front of her, Ningguang opened her mouth, momentarily at a loss for words. Ganyu, please wait. Ganyu raised her hand, signaling Ningguang to hold her thoughts for a moment. Regarding that world, there are too many astonishing wonders that I can't explain all at once. Let me and Kaching show you some of its marvels first, and then we can discuss how to move forward. Without waiting for a response from Ningguang, Ganyu immediately began mimicking Ryen's movements, stepping forward in the air, placing blocks suspended above nothingness. Ningguang couldn't help but feel a bit unsettled. She sensed a slight coldness in Ganyu's tone, as if it were directed at her, possibly stemming from her earlier dismissiveness of Ryen. But now wasn't the time to dwell on that. Ganyu, with her usual precision, demonstrated the construction, while Kaching enthusiastically narrated the various materials and their properties, along with their experiences in that world. As more materials were conjured before them, Ningguang and the others watched in awe, realizing that the greatest fortune in history was unfolding right before their eyes. Ryen's thoughts were far from the ongoing discussions in the Jade Chamber. He was entirely absorbed in his latest project, building a new home. His previous residence had been completely demolished. Interesting for you, they look innocent. Foods that doctors now link to Alzheimer. More 514129171. Every building, every house, within a 70 by 80 grid had been leveled and the ground smoothed. With the abundance of wood he acquired, Ryen no longer needed to chop down trees. He began constructing a fence around the perimeter of his property, marking his territory. A double-open gate of 2 wooden lattice doors was installed, creating a simple yet secure entrance. Inside, the layout was carefully designed. In the bottom left corner was the livestock area, partitioned with fences and housing a sizable stable for his horses. To the right, a well-tended vegetable garden, freshly watered with seeds planted, awaited growth. Nearby, a stack of crates and a sturdy workbench stood ready for use. In the top right corner, a modest pond, decorated with lily pads and bordered with iron buckets holding ornamental fish, was a serene sight. The pond was surrounded by flowers, vines, and leaf blocks, with a simple yet thoughtfully constructed pavilion offering a place for respite. Indeed, though described as a small pavilion, it had been intricately designed. A wooden boardwalk over the pond, vintage lamps lining the edges, creating a beautiful evening scene. Had he access to sea lanterns, Ryen could have further enhanced the ambience. Farm and ranch constructions were straightforward to assemble, requiring only hands and time. But now, the focus shifted to the residential villa. Ryen planned a basement storage area with a 3-story antique-style villa above it. Why antique? He chuckled to himself. Do you think I have quartz to work with? This was just the first phase, a temporary solution. As his world expanded, he envisioned floating islands, underground ecosystems, and even a castle below ground with a modern villa above. Once the building process began, it became a relentless pursuit of improvement and creation. Ryen's current foundation for the villa was set, 30 by 40 in size, spacious enough for a luxurious 1,200 square meters of living space. Given the size of his designated land, the house wouldn't overwhelm the surrounding area, but would provide ample room for at least 10 people. He still planned to expand it further, ensuring a harmonious balance between aesthetics and functionality. For Ryen, building was an endless journey, not merely constructing a house, but crafting a future. The retro-style villa had its own unique way of being constructed. With a shaped structure, the first floor was capped off, while the second floor extended outward to create a garden and a viewing platform, perfect for enjoying afternoon tea in the future. A walkway was left as a connection. The third floor was designed with a peaked roof, housing bookshelves and a few cozy resting rooms. For the enchantment and alchemy areas, the basement was the ideal spot. The first floor had an area dedicated to a large aquarium, while the rest was designed into a spacious great hall, dining area, and conference room. The second floor was intended for the main resting areas. This was the maximum effort that could be made without disrupting the retro villa's ambience. Ryen wished he had a swimming pool, but that wasn't feasible for now. Using cobblestone would be too unsightly. Maybe when he had access to quartz blocks and concrete, he could think about it again. The framework construction was simple, and with Ryen's speed, it took less than 2 hours to complete. For the interior areas, he divided them using stripped oak wood. On the exterior walls, lighting was provided by torches and stone-made street lamps. Inside the rooms, standard hanging lamps illuminated the spaces. Ultimately, Ryen had used the 3 iron ingots he had stored, though materials were still scarce, leaving him with limited options for furniture. He borrowed beds from villagers, using 5 in total. By mid-morning, Ryen had mostly completed the framework for this phase of construction. The difficulty was far lower than he anticipated, though understandable, given his unique, blocky constitution. Overall, the villa exuded a retro elegance, a sense of charm that couldn't be overlooked. Next, Ryen pondered briefly and crafted a few stone shovels, eager to head down to the river, collect sand, melt glass, and while I'm at it, gather some flint. Just as he prepared to leave, a sudden thought struck him, prompting him to turn back and grab his fishing rod from the vegetable patch. After all, melting glass would take time, and the sky was still early. While waiting, Ryen figured he might as well do some fishing. If he could reel in an enchanted book, wouldn't that be a fortune in itself? As Ryen happily immersed himself in his grand building project, Keqing and Ganyu's presentation in the Jade Chamber came to a close. Seeing Ningguang and the others looking bewildered, Keqing and Ganyu exchanged knowing glances and smiled. Their first encounter with this world had been equally overwhelming. Yet Ningguang, being Ningguang, soon regained her composure. Rubbing her temples, she spoke with a hint of frustration. "I believe you now," she admitted. "That outsider, it's Ryen." Ganyu's expression remained stern as she emphasized the name once more. Ningguang regarded her thoughtfully, a hint of amusement flashing in her eyes. "All right, it's Ryen. His world is rich with resources, filled with wonders beyond comprehension. Without a doubt, its existence offers a brighter future for Liyue. Even the Archon herself would be astonished upon seeing it." But Ningguang added, "I have to ask, why would he willingly share his world? Doesn't he fear we might have ulterior motives?" Keqing's lips curled into a small smile, her voice filled with confidence. "Not at all. Ryen is our friend. He trusts us, and we trust him. It's as simple as that. We believe in each other." Hearing Keqing's words, Ningguang's expression turned complex. After a life of trials and hardships, Ningguang had learned to trust no one, relying solely on herself and Mora. Yet, for some reason, seeing the bond between Keqing and Ganyu made her feel a twinge of envy, a feeling she hadn't expected to experience. Shaking her head slightly, Ningguang spoke softly. "What we're discussing next pertains to the future of the nation. It can't be clouded by personal emotions. Keqing, objectively, give me a reason why he would be willing to share." Keqing huffed and raised a finger. "Firstly, it's not a matter of sharing. This world is Ryen's. No one can change that. Ryen simply seeks mutual benefit. We cultivate his world, and in return, we gain access to his resources. Secondly, Ryen is incredibly strong. He fears no forces that might try to take advantage of him. He possesses the power to protect his world. Even the Archon may not match his strength.